Good morning. And another one. Hey, welcome along. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining me this morning. You have tuned in to 9 o'clock yoga with Kirsten. So morning yoga, great way to start your day. So we will just wait another couple of minutes until we get a few more people come on board. So if you haven't already, just make yourself nice and comfortable in the area around you. Make sure you're nice and warm. So as long as those layers are, you can move within your layers, you know, nice loose layers or lycra. Remember, in the comfort of your own home, so you can pull out the lycra if you wouldn't normally feel comfortable wearing it. Just make sure you can move freely. And if you're in a nice warm room, well, perfect. I've got my heat pump going, so I'm in a lovely warm room. You don't have to have a mat. You might just want to put down a big beach towel to give yourself some sort of your own little space to be on. Or if you've just got carpet, that's fine. If you've got a hard floor, maybe just pad it up a little bit, okay? And I have got a rolled up towel today. I don't have any yoga blocks at home with me. You might. Books will suffice as well. So if you've got a couple of books, you could use those as a little bit of height. But I just find the rolled up towel works really well. It's a nice big thick towel, so when it's rolled up, it's a fairly decent size. And you can just use it like I am. I've just popped it between my bottom and my heels to sit on here comfortably. You can also use it underneath your hands if you're on the ground doing anything with your hands down and you need a little bit of height from the ground. So if you don't have one of those, just grab it, because then you can actually use it whenever you want to. Maybe just have a drink handy, just in case you get a little dry through the class and you won't have to whip away, you can just reach for it. So as long as you've got all those things, guys, you're all set to go. And other than that, you just need yourself, yeah? So before we get started, just remember this is your time, this is your yoga class. So if anything I do doesn't suit you, please feel free to modify. Either modify to a differing level of what I'm doing, or just do something completely different, okay? That is fine. It's your time, it's your space. I can't see any of you out there. So it's really important, and it's actually a really good time for you to actually be able to listen to what your body's telling you and how your body's feeling, knowing that there's absolutely no judgment out there of people being able to see you. So really utilise this alone time, I guess you could call it, to be quite reflective of what's going on in your body and really what suits you for the morning, okay? Other than that, if you do need to take a rest at any stage, just pop into child's pose. If you don't know what child's pose is, big toes together, knees out to a width, and you can either take extended child's pose with your arms out long, or you just might bend at your elbows, create a ledge for your head, and just take a nice restful time there. And you can just stay there for as long as you want and then join back in whenever you're ready, okay? So I say let's make a move. We've definitely got some people on there who are ready to go. So, morning Danielle. So let's go. We're going to start actually on our mats to start with, on our backs. We do come to standing and do some slightly more energetic type stuff standing. But for now, just lying on your back. Bringing it down, just nice and slowly. Yep, so nothing has to be a rush here this morning. Bring your feet up, just so they're flat on the floor and your palms are down on the floor just beside your hips. So just take a wee moment here to think about the shoulders drawing away from the ears, okay? Create lots of length in that neck, and then just tilt the chin slightly so the back of the flat of the head is on the mat. You're not tilting the chin up and extending the neck too much or tucking it too much, okay? Bring your belly in just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit, just to make sure that you're softening through your front ribs. Often when we lie down on our back, the automatic reaction is to pop the ribs up. So just soften through that front side of the body. So we're just going to do some bridging with breath to start with. So on your next inhale in, I want you to tuck your pelvis towards your ribs and start to rolling up, pressing through the feet until you get to the top of your bridge, where your pelvis is at the highest point, and then exhale and roll back down. So keep that pelvic tilt all the way through that out breath. And then when you get to the bottom, you can let that tilt release briefly and then start again. Inhale, tuck. So we're just warming up through the spine here. And then exhale, roll back down. Now you will be possibly moving at a different rate to me on this. It will just depend on the length of your inhalations and exhalations, but also how high you can get into your bridge. So please don't feel any pressure to move at the same pace as me, but what we are trying to do here is just connect breath with movement. And as much as possible through the class today, try and connect your breath with whatever movement we're doing, okay? Nice work. We'll do a couple more here. So rolling up. So you're going to start to feel some activity in and around the back side of the body, but also the front side as you're drawing the belly in. Exhale down. We'll do one more. Inhale up. And exhale down. As you take your next inhale, take your arms out the side of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, drop the knees to the right. So now we're just moving into a twist with our breath. Inhale back to the center. And exhale to the left. Now you're more than welcome to take the head in the opposite direction to the knees if you want to. Inhale, center, so head comes to center, knees come to center. And then exhale over, knees and head in opposite direction. So once again, make it a nice fluid movement. There's really no pausing. So as soon as you finish that breath out, you start the breath in and the knees start to move again. Just feel that really nice gentle twist, nice opening through the side body. Last one to the left. Inhale back center. And then as you exhale, just give yourself a nice hug. Bringing those knees to the chest, clasping the hands below the knees. Just rock from side to side, just normal breathing here. Rotating around, hugging those knees in a little bit more. Feeling how that lower back is this morning. Sometimes in the morning it can be a little tight. Other direction, so we will take a wee moment just to try and release it off a little bit more before we start to move too much. So on your next inhale, keep your right knee hugged in, but extend your left leg out all the way to the floor, and then as you exhale, hug that right knee in towards your armpit. Good. Take another breath in. And breathe out, hug it a little bit more. See if there's a bit more movement in that hip area. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, change legs. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, hug that left knee in towards the left armpit. So 2 cycles of breath here. Breathe in again. You're going to move and adjust if you need to. Breathe out, hug a little more. Take your breath in. And then as you breathe out, change sides. We'll do that another time on each side. But more active through that bottom leg. So flex the feet and stretch that left leg out. Breathe in. And then breathe out and hug. Breathe in, extend your left leg more. Breathe out, hug your right knee more. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, switch legs. Extend that right leg long. Breathe in. Breathe out, hug the left knee in. So now you're thinking about 2 things. As you breathe in, extend the right leg. Really think about moving out of that right hip joint. And then as you breathe out, pull the left knee towards the left shoulder, left armpit. Take one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, bring the right knee up to meet the left knee. And just place one hand on either side of your knees, and we'll just do some hip rotations. So normal breathing, and just circle your knees out and in. So your hands will slide up and down your legs, depending on the movement you've got through your hips. But really think about that circle. We want to try and make the circle really big. So all the way in, all the way out, and all the way away. You might feel a little clicking, some crunching. Those things are all normal. And reverse your direction. So we're just getting that good mobility going in the hips, taking it through its full range of movement. Really important to keep all our joints mobile and moving. A couple more in this direction. Nice work. And then hug them back in. Just give yourself a nice squeeze, little rock. See how that lower back feels this time with squeezing those knees in. And then let the feet come back to the floor. Roll yourself to the side, and we'll come onto our hands and knees into our tabletop position. So knees under the hips, about hip width apart, so have a little look back. You do want a gap between your knees of approximately hip width, and then the same with your hands, approximately shoulder width. Fingers spread nice and wide, and wrists underneath your shoulder. So we're stacking joint on joint here, which does help strengthen through the bones, but it also keeps us in a nice alignment. Draw your belly button up slightly, just so you're not sagging, and just feel that really nice, strong tabletop position, lengthening out through the crown of the head and through your tailbone. On your next breath in, drop the belly and let the crown of the head come back towards the tailbone, shoulders away from the ears as we move through our cow. And breathe out, push the floor away from you, draw your belly button up, chin to chest, into your cat. And cycle through that. Inhale, chest pushing through, so we're opening through the chest and the shoulders as we extend our spine. Breathe out and curl. So just like our bridge and our twist, you move at your own pace through your cat-cow for another 3 or 4 cycles. Feeling along your spine, and it's one fluid movement, so as you finish that breath, move straight back in to the next one. Inhale and drop, exhale and round. And there is that pelvic tilting, just like we did with our bridge. Okay, so the pelvis rocks back into our cow, and then as we move through into our cat, the pelvis tucks under. Flexion and extension through the spine. Really nice way for you to tune into your spine and see how it feels as well, just if there's any sticky points. So once you've finished your last cat, we'll come back into our tabletop, and then we're just going to move sideways. So take your gaze to your left hip and bring your left hip to your left shoulder. So we're closing up the left side, opening the right side, and then take it to the other direction. Right hip to right shoulder. So it's a little bit of a side body crunch, but the opposite side is opening. So feel the left side crunch and the right side open, and then the right side crunch, left side open. Nice work. So we're wiggling our bottoms, yeah? We'll do one more time on each side. All pretty cruisy so far. Yeah, should feel a little bit more open, a little bit more relaxed, and we're going to start to move on. So I want you to move your hands about another hand width in front of you. You're going to move through just a nice modified flow. So take an inhale breath and come forward. So your shoulders are over your wrists, you'll draw your belly up, we're in a kneeling plank. As you exhale, keeping your elbows hugged tight to your body, drop all the way down to the mat. As you reach the mat, inhale, draw your shoulders and roll them down your back to come up to your baby cobra. Feet flat on the floor, hips pressing down. And then as you breathe out, dropping back down in one fluid movement, taking it back to your child's pose. Bottoms to heels, and then we start again. So inhale, come forward, belly up, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, drop down, hugging your elbows into your sides. Inhale, bring your chest through your arms as you roll your shoulders down your back into your baby cobra. And then exhale, dropping down, pressing back into your child's pose. Another few rounds of that. So inhale forward, exhale down. So once again, your breath connects with your movement. Inhale up, hug those elbows in, really lengthen the neck. Exhale down and push back. So you're using some strength in your arms as well here. Inhale forward. Belly up, exhale, drop down. Nice, slow drop. Inhale, drawing up, keeping the head in line with the spine, but nice and relaxed. Exhale, lower, and big push up and back. We'll just do one more time, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit of heat coming in through those arms. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down and push back. Good. Inhale, come forward. This time I want you to tuck your toes and exhale into your full plank. Nice work. Take an inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, push back into your downward dog. Good. Now this is the first one of the morning, so walk out and make your adjustments. Ideally, we're in a fairly good place from our modified flow, but just do another check. You want to have your hands approximately shoulder width, but you are more than welcome to take them wider at this point if that's more comfortable for your shoulders. You want your feet, once again, approximately hip width apart. We want our hips nice and high to the ceiling, and don't worry if that means that your knees stay bent and you're up on your tippy toes. Scoop your belly up and pull your front ribs in, and then draw the shoulders away from the ears. Nice work. So on your next breath in, steady your feet and take your right leg all the way up. And then as you exhale, bend that right leg and open the right knee to the ceiling. Now breathe normally here. As you peel your right hip open, draw your right shoulder back to square. So we're not rotating the upper body, we're opening the lower body. Nice big stretch down the left leg, nice opening through the right hip. As you breathe in, bring that knee back, the hip back to square. And as you breathe out, step that right leg all the way through between your hands and come into your full lunge. Now just take some time here to have a look that the knee is over the ankle. Rise up onto your fingertips just to create a little bit more space for yourself. Straighten out through that back leg. Tuck your left hip a little, just so we're not placing strain through our lower back, and extend out through the crown of the head. Nice work. Just take another breath in and out here. And then when you're ready, pivot on your back foot, so it'll be your left foot, so that it comes into a horizontal position in line with the back edge of your mat, and then sweep your arms up into Warrior Two. So once again, ideally, from our full lunge, we've come into a nice aligned position. But just take a check, have a look. Have we got the knee over the ankle? Is the back edge of our foot in line with the back edge of our mat? And then bring your shoulders, often in Warrior Two we tend to lean forward, bring your shoulders back over your hips. I have the luxury of being able to see myself, so I can check. It's harder sometimes to be able to visually see that. If you just have a look down your body, you'll be able to see if you are tilting forward. So just bring yourself back. Drop your shoulders and gaze down your right hand. On your next breath in, straighten your right leg and bring your arms above you. And then exhale, drop back down into that Warrior Two. So we're once again connecting movement with breath. Inhale, push up. Exhale, drop down. So we're nice and strong through this right leg. Inhale, up. Exhale, drop. Keep strong through your back left leg. Inhale, up. Both of those will create your nice strong foundation to move through. Belly in, ribs in. Inhale up. Exhale, drop. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, drop. This time I want you to inhale, straighten the leg, but keep the arms where they are. As you exhale, tilt yourself all the way to the right as far as you can go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Once you've reached your maximum, dropping the hand and taking your other arm up. Now just be happy with where your hand has come to. Okay, some people may have been able to get their fingertips to floor. You may just have your hand by your knee, okay? Now because it's morning yoga and I want you to maintain a nice strong position, we want to try and not rest down on our leg. So just have your palm facing away from your shin and use your side body and the strength through your foundation, which is your legs, to hold you up. Now you can gaze up, or you can gaze down, or you can gaze sideways. But for the last final breaths, I want you to think about drawing your right shoulder back and your left shoulder back and your left hip back, your right shoulder under and your right hip under. That's nice work. On your next breath in, soften your knee, come back up into your warrior two. Breathe out, settle down. Take a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, windmill your arms all the way over, back down to the floor as you pivot on your back foot and come back into your downward dog. Nice work. Now at this stage, guys, you can walk your dog. You can do a static dog, or if you want to time out at this point before we move to the other side, you can take child's pose. Okay, we'll be taking a few breaths here in around 30 seconds. So choose where you want to be. I'm just going to change directions as we move to the other side so I can still be facing you. So either downward dog, static, you can pedal those feet out, or you can be in your child's pose. So if you are in your child's pose, coming back up to join us in our downward dog. And then when you're ready, breathing in and lifting your left leg up nice and high, shoulders away from the ears. And then as you exhale, bend the knee, peel it open to the left. Breathe normally here, but bring your left shoulder back to square. Try and push your right heel as close to the mat as you can get it. As you're opening your left hip up, shoulders stay square. Belly in. Press the front of the mat away from you with your finger pads. And then as you next breathe in, bring the hips to square, knee back to center. And then as you breathe out, step that left leg through between your hands into your full lunge. So take some time here. You might not have got that left leg through all the way in one sweep. So just help it through and find that alignment. Rise up onto your fingertips to extend through the crown of the head and through the back. So we just want to avoid being rounded here, so you don't have to have your hands flat. Fingertips is quite nice here to create that nice long line. So we will take a few breaths here, press out through the back heel, drop the hips, keep a slight tuck in the right hip, support the lower back, belly in, and then when you're ready, pivot on your right foot so that the foot comes horizontal, and then sweep your arms up and over into your warrior two on the other side, making any adjustments as you need to. I think my mat has become a little less sticky. It's getting a lot of use at home with all my live classes. I might have to invest in a new one. Now the shops are open and I can go and get one. So once again, stretch out through the arms, yeah? Left and right. Bring the shoulders back over the hips. knee over ankle, press through the outside edge of that right foot, and we'll start our movement. So breathing in and breathing out. The movement does sometimes help create space. So think about each time you drop into that warrior two, is there a little bit more space? I know myself, I'm a little tighter on this side. And breathe out. Belly in, ribs soft. Really think about peeling those hips open, okay? So you want to think about that right hip drawing back, but the left hip drawing back as well, yeah? Oops, got the arms there. We'll do a couple more. Length at the top, drop at the bottom. Last one. This time, as you inhale, just straighten the left leg. And then as you exhale, reach, reach, reach. Yeah, so it's a nice big tilt. So reach, reach, reach as far as you can until you've reached your maximum. And then you just tilt. Reaching up, reaching down. Draw the right shoulder back and the left shoulder under. Peel the right hip back. Bring the left hip under. You can soften this knee if you need to, okay? Otherwise, just rise up a little bit higher if the stretch is too intense. If you've got your block, you could put your block down. Just make sure you're not resting on it too much. We want to try and bring some activity to the legs and to the side body, holding ourselves up. So it just creates a little bit more energy. And remember, you can gaze down. I tend to gaze this way a lot just because I'm looking at the screen. But your gaze can be where is comfortable for you. Just when you're gazing up, I find myself often when I gaze up, I look up and I get wrinkles in my forehead. Yeah? So as you gaze up, really think about softening the face. It is literally just a gaze up. Yeah? Take one more breath here. And on your next breath in, coming up as you soften that left knee. Breathe out back into your warrior two. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, windmill those arms over. Step back into your downward dog. And at this stage, guys, we're all going to drop to our knees into child's pose. So knees wide, big toes together, and extend. So we will all just take a minute here just to relax before we move on. So there were some quite strong postures to be in. Standing postures always are. They require energy. They use the legs a lot, but then our arms as well. If we maintain that length right from fingertips, our arms are working too. So your child's pose here can be nice and relaxing. Elbows can be soft to the floor, shoulders soft. Just thinking about those hips nestling back towards the heels. And then on your next breath in, just slowly start to bring yourself forward so the weight comes back into your hands. Just readjust your knees so they're approximately hip width apart. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. Now I've turned front on to face you just to see what, so you can see what I'm doing with my legs at this point. So what I want you to do is to step your right foot outside your right hand. Okay, so it's a nice big step. So by stepping outside the hand, we're taking a lot more width into those hips. If you need to, you can actually take it out a little more as well if you want to. So we're currently just up on our hands. If this is already quite challenging, this is where you can use your books, your rolled up towel for that little bit of height underneath your hands, okay? So already for some people this might be quite an intense hip opener. More than welcome to just move a little bit through that hip joint, through that right hip joint, just to create a bit of space, and then settle back in. There might be a little bit more space there for you. Now if you want to, you can bring your right elbow down to the floor. Now you can keep the left hand straight and just bring the right elbow down to start with. If that's still feeling okay for you, you're more than welcome then to bring the left elbow down as well. So just remember, you can stop at any stage. You might just be here. You might have the extra height there and your right elbow might be able to come down onto that extra height, or you might be able to get both your elbows down onto that extra height. So we're just going to be here for another few breaths, about another 30 seconds, in this really nice deep hip opener. So remember, you're breathing. So breathe easily. Take the breath into the tight spaces. Generally when we start opening through the hips, everyone has them. So breathe there. Take one more breath in and out. And then slowly just make your way back up. Make your way back up. And then step that right foot back, all the way back, and just extend it all the way out behind you, okay? So I've just extended it all the way out, and I'm just pressing that heel back, just to lengthen back through the knee and through the hip. And then bring that right knee back to the floor, and we'll do the same on the left side. So when you're ready, step the left foot outside and possibly forward of the left hand. Good job. So I'll turn side on for this one because I've got my left leg forward, so you'll be able to see from the side. Just grab my towel. So once again, just take some time, maybe move a little bit here. See how that left hip feels. And then see if you can sink a little more. And then if that's feeling good, drop the left elbow down. As I said, you can stay up on the right arm, just drop that left elbow. It can be dropped to your height if it's too much, or to the floor. Take a couple of breaths here, just ease into that next stage of the stretch here. Let the body get used to where you've taken it to. And then if it's good for you, you can then drop the right elbow down. And if at that stage, possibly, you're just that little fraction off the floor, that's where this becomes really good. You're like, oh, I can get both elbows almost there, but not quite. Use that height. And like I say, the towel is quite good because it's quite forgiving, as in it sort of sinks a little bit with your weight, but just creates that tiny little bit of a bridge between the floor and you, yeah? And then just enjoy that stretch through the hips, that nice opening. Free them up. We'll take another few breaths here. And then when you're ready, just start to bring yourself back up. And then swing that left leg back behind you and just lengthen it out. Yep. It's quite an easy one, this. It's just really to lengthen and open up through the joints again. We are going to do one more downward dog. just to really stretch out through the back of those legs. So when you're ready, take your right leg out to meet your left foot, so you're now in your full plank position. Take a big breath in, and then as you breathe out, push your way back into your downward dog. Hips high, belly up, shoulders away from the ears, press the front of the mat away from you. Let those heels sink as close as possible to the mat, remembering that if there's a little bit of a bend in your legs, it's okay. They don't have to be dead straight, as long as those hips are up nice and high, yeah? Some people will be able to get their legs straight and their heels quite close to the floor, but it's all about getting those hips up. Now pull your ribs, front ribs in. Nice work. So now we're nicely set up. We'll move into three-legged dog. So lift your right leg up high, and we're just going to hold three-legged dog just to get a really nice stretch down through the back left leg. So lift your right leg up as high as you can, square your shoulders, belly in, and lengthen the back of the leg. That heel may drop closer to the floor. Nice way to stretch the back of the leg. I like doing this one. And then lower that right leg down. And we'll just do the same, lifting the left leg up. Really take it as high up. I don't know how high you're going, but extend it up as you push that right heel down. Square your shoulders, belly in, push the front of the mat away from you, chest towards your right leg. And then lower back down, and then lower your knees to the floor. Bring your knees together, bring your feet together, keep your toes tucked. Walk your way back towards your knees, and walk your way up your thighs and drop your bottom towards your heels. So we'll just take a little moment here to stretch out through the base of the feet. If you're not comfortable here, you can place your towel and sit on your towel, okay? But stretch through the soles of the feet, so really tuck those toes under, place the hands on the thighs, drop the shoulders down, and just enjoy that nice lengthening from the toes all the way up the base of the foot. We'll only be here for a few more breaths. Time's gone super quick this morning. Time for a couple more stretches, yeah? Good work. And then take your hands back down to the floor. Release the feet. Just give them a little rotation through the ankles. So just rotate through those ankles. Just go one direction and then the other direction. Gives those feet a bit of a break as well. And then bringing yourself just down to a seated position. So find your way to a seated position. Take the legs out nice and wide. So we're going to move through just a couple of stretches fairly quickly here. So not too long in either of them. The first one is wide leg forward fold. So take your legs out as wide as is comfortable without your toes falling inwards. So if the toes are falling inwards, you might just need to back off a little bit. Toes point strongly up towards the ceiling. Okay? Nice tall spine here. So if the spine is rounded or you're uncomfortable seated, plop your height underneath you, and it just helps tilt you forward that little bit. So it takes that rounding out, smooths out the front, and lengthens through the spine. So just make any adjustments that you need to before we move into that. I've been sitting on this too long and it's flattened out a bit. And then take a big breath in, and as you breathe out, maintaining that tall spine, walk your fingers out. So we're not actually going to round into this one. So keep your gaze in front of you. Keep the spine long, shoulders away from the ears. So side on. Sometimes in a forward fold, yes we do completely relax down, but we're just going to stay a bit more active in this one. So you'll notice that it's very similar to the downward dog upper body. We've got a nice long line from crown of the head all the way down the spine. So stay up on your fingertips, be active, toes pointing up towards the ceiling, opening up in through the inner thighs and the hips. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then slowly walk your fingertips back towards you, coming all the way up to tall, and then bring your right foot in, just as close as is comfortable towards the groin, yeah, inner thigh groin. So it doesn't matter if it's out a little bit, if it's popped up quite a lot, put your towel underneath the knee, okay, that can just give it that level of support sometimes that we need. So I'll leave that one up to you. Take your right arm, take a big breath up, and as you breathe out, stretching over towards your left toes. Now, unless you're super flexible, you're not going to get there, that's okay. Then take your left hand and just push down slightly on that right leg, just ever so gently, okay? And you should feel that really nice side body stretch right down into the outside hip, right through the waist. Draw the top shoulder back, so it'll be your right shoulder back, left shoulder pushing down into that right leg. Take one more breath in. Oh, feel that side body expand and breathe out. And next breath in, coming up. And breathe out, just relax. And we'll change sides. So take that right foot back out. So let that knee get some blood flow going back through it again. Now both sides can be different. This is my slightly better side. So I know that my knee is already closer to the floor straight away. You may find that this side's popped up a little bit more, in which case you can either use the towel if you feel it needs support, or you'll just be giving it that helping hand. Toes point up. Belly in, ribs soft but tall spine. Take a big breath in, left arm comes up. And as you breathe out, keeping that left shoulder back, just dropping in that side stretch. And then take your right arm and just gently push down on that left leg. Just gently, yeah? Shouldn't have to be a massive, big pushing down of it to increase that little stretch. Just encouragement. Think of it as you encouraging it. Yeah? And then draw that left shoulder back, right shoulder under. Take a big breath in. And then breathe out and drop a little more. And then breathe in and come up. And breathe out, release. Nice work. Okay, just take those legs out in front of you. Just wiggle them out a little bit. You can windscreen wiper them from side to side. Give them a little bit of rub if you want to. So we're just going to finish with a really nice forward fold. And we are going to be able to relax into this one. So once you've reached your maximum, we will round and just make it a slightly more relaxing way to finish. So feet can either be together or hip width apart, whatever's comfortable for you. Maybe have your towel block, whatever you've got available to you, handy, so that can bridge the gap between your legs and your forehead if need be. Not everyone will need that. Take a big breath in. Nice tall spine. You can be sitting on your block or towel if you want to. And then as you breathe out, we're going to reach as far forward as we can, just like we did when we did our triangle pose and also when we did our wide leg forward fold. Reach as long as you can first with this long spine, and then once you've reached your maximum, let the hands drop and then let your head drop. So now you've got the weight of your torso as well as gravity helping you bridge the gap between the legs and the head. And then I just want you to settle in. So find any support you need, because we're going to be here just for another minute or so. So relax the shoulders, relax the head. If you need to, you can bend your elbows and create a ledge for your head if you've got nothing to rest it on. Draw your belly back towards the spine to lengthen. Internally walk one butt cheek at a time back to lengthen the back of the legs. Take a big breath in, and then on your breath out, just see if there's a little bit more that you can lower down. So your belly doesn't have a lot of space here, so you'll find with your big inhales, they're going to move into the back. That's perfect, that's where we want it. Really nice expanding breaths through the back side of the body. We've just got 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walking your hands up, just nice and slowly. Now you can either stay with your legs extended, or you can come to another seated position of your choice. It can either be cross-legged, you might want to sit back on your heels. I will leave that up to you. Just take a big breath in wherever you are. And then as you breathe out, just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. So if you've still got your legs extended, you can still do this. You can be sitting back on your heels, or you can have your legs crossed. Next breath into the center. Breathe out left ear to left shoulder. Just making sure there's no tension you're holding in through that neck. Come back to center. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, take the chin to the ceiling, stretching out through the front of the neck. Close the mouth with it open. Breathe back in through center. And as you breathe out, tuck the chin right down to the chest so you can stretch through the back of the neck. Breathe back in through center. Just bring the neck to a neutral position, chin level, breathing in. So a few deep breaths to finish, breathing the arms up and floating them down. So that's the end of your morning yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. It was lovely to see you. It looks like the sun's starting to pop through those clouds. We're meant to have a pretty nice day today. So remember guys, we have still got 1 more week of our live classes, just 1 more week. And keep your eye on the page, because there's lots of posts coming out at the moment just about how you can get yourself back into the gym, things like that. So look out for all of those, book yourself into those classes. It's going to be so great to see all your faces again. Yep, so 1 more breath in, bring the hands into prayer, back through heart center. Thanks again guys, namaste. I will see you next week.